Hello and welcome to The Flow, a gathering of people interested not only in personal transformation, but transformation of the world around us, one individual at a time. How does this transformation take place? You can learn to be present by spending your time sitting in silence with the goal set for 20 minutes a day. One of the benefits of this practice is the gift of awareness and the ability to live in the here and now. You'll be able to sense how others, and maybe how you transfer anger, hurt, and pain into many of your personal transactions, still attempting to be in control. But when you live in the now and are connected to God, control is no longer an option. Once again, it's time to wash away the week. If you wish, press the pause button and wash your own hands along with the video. I wash my hands. I now wash my soul of the past week. I wash away the times I refuse to live in the now. I cleanse fear which keeps me from truths about myself and others. I remove the stain of the false self, placing my importance over and above the greater good. I wash away the belief that everything must be explained or understood. I cleanse nightmares of the past, knowing that failure is a byproduct of growth. I bathe in the reality that God is love, fullness, and joy. I dry my hands feeling God's simple smile, and that is good enough. In order to love God and neighbor, first learn to love dirt. Notice how dirt has the innate ability to absorb the actions of nature and the world around it. In one clump of dirt, you might find a footprint. In another area, dirt might be hard and tight, yet in another place, dirt is soft and pliable. Dirt has the ability to adapt to its location, climate, and circumstance. Learn to love dirt's adaptive qualities. In order to love God and neighbor, first learn to love dirt. I was surprised to experience a consciousness of the presence of God, or such a kind that I could not possibly doubt that God was with me. I was wholly engulfed in God. This was in no sense a vision. I believe it is called mystical theology. The soul is suspended in such a way that it seems to be completely outside itself. The will loves. The memory, I think, is almost lost, while understanding is not lost. Reasons no longer works, but is amazed at the extent of all it can understand. For God wills it to realize that it understands nothing of what God's totality represents. What I do know is this: the closer one approaches to God, the simpler one becomes. The days are surely coming, says the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. In those days, at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. And this is the name by which it will be called: the Lord is our righteousness. How did you feel hearing this passage? What might the narrative say about you? What made you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? The days are surely coming, says the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. In those days, at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. And this is the name by which it will be called: the Lord is our righteousness. What word or phrase spoke to you? Why did this word or phrase speak to you? What is the Spirit trying to say? In ancient Judah, the belief was that if a descendant of David was on the throne, Jerusalem would be safe. Despite this, the first temple was destroyed, and people were carted off to Babylon. They spent 70 years in captivity before they were allowed to return. The Old Testament, as we know it, was compiled during their time in captivity and after their return to figure out why they failed. Jeremiah says, "The Lord our God is righteous." Here's a term that has been misunderstood over the years. As soon as we hear that someone is righteous, what do we think? We think that means the person is self-serving and judgmental. Righteousness, though, is another name for justice and equality. And God's justice means that all people are satisfied and whole. It's not about one group winning over another group. It's not about one person getting their way and someone losing. God's justice is non-dual, non-binary, and beyond equality. There are no winners or losers. It is complete and utter wholeness. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. And this is the name by which it will be called: The Lord is our righteousness. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning, that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. May the God of love bring us all joy. May the cosmic Christ enable empathy and understanding, and may the Spirit of truth open our eyes to the wonders of each encounter. Let us walk in love. Let us go in peace.